everyone, this is Randa. In this video, I want to talk about the importance of having a sacred feminine space. This is something that I have spoken about previously in my stories, and it is also part of my feminine sensuality training that you could still catch in my Facebook group. You know, in times of distress, like in these times, you get to realize how much the effort that you invested in yourself truly pays off. I know it shows in many other ways, but for some reason we get to really pay attention to that in times of uncertainty, in times of chaos, and in times of fear. And so for me, having a sacred feminine space, and I have established that in a couple of places in my house, in my garden, and also in my room. But what I love about having that space is, you know, it is my own space. It is where I get to connect to myself. It is a space that I have established the energy of that space, and whenever I feel like I'm depleted and exhausted, I think that I have trained my nervous system to come back to a state of balance just when I step into my own space. And this happened actually, over a period of time. I didn't first have this super clear idea of what my space, what I would like my space to look like or feel like. And so I started exploring. First of all, I made sure it is colorful. I invested in beautiful colors. I invested also in some essential oils, aromatherapy. I also invested in textures that are soft and they kind of caress my sense of touch. And also, you know, I'm always playing this soft music in my space. I'm always I have my cup of tea, warm herbal tea. I have this beautiful journal, and it also is the space where I do my prayers as well. And so I have used all of these elements to engage all of my senses in this space, so that I bring all of my senses into that state of joy and Zen kind of energy. And so with time, I noticed that it's kind of like I trained my nervous system to know what it feels like when I get into that space. And so sometimes it doesn't take a lot of effort for me to, if I'm feeling low, for example, it doesn't take a lot of effort from me to lift my vibration. I just need to sit in my space and just connect to the energy there. So this is what I wanted to share with you, because it truly made such a difference for me in the way I practice my routines, the way I come into some kind of practices, or for example, sometimes work I need to do. So it helps me to ground my energy. It helps me to be in a mental state of clarity, because of all of these elements. First, you know, I started experimenting with all of these elements, the element of smell, touch, taste as well with my tea, the element of music with soft music, and also the beautiful colors that would, you know, we know that it definitely affects our spirits. And so because I'm truly grateful for my own space and how it truly made a difference, I wanted to share this with you. To start, if you haven't yet established your own energetic space, your own sacred feminine space, the energy of your sacred feminine space, I invite you to experiment with that. You don't need to have a set idea in your mind and you just execute it. No, play with it, be creative. um, you can try something now that it doesn't feel good the next day, and then you can change it. But the thing is, having this sacred space, um, having built the energy, we really create the energy of that space. You will notice that it will make a lot of difference in um, what energy you bring into your actions. You just need to um, settle in that place, and then it will start feeling easier for you to connect to yourself. Sometimes, when we're feeling down, we know what to do, but like we can't get ourselves into doing it. Sometimes for me, just settling down in my space and just taking a few deep breaths, I kind of soothe my nervous system, and I help my brain um, to get me into that state that I want to get into. So any self-care routine becomes a little bit, a lot actually easier when I do it in my own sacred space. Again, it doesn't have to be something like very luxurious or very like messy. No, it just needs to be excuse me, just needs to be a space that contains all that truly brings you joy. And it is a space that you can call your own, where you could have just a few moments of silence, just a few moments of quietness, just a few moments of peace where you can connect to yourself. Sometimes you don't have to create that for a meditation or for yoga. You don't need to do any of that. Just consider it as a space where you allow yourself to connect to your feminine essence. I hope that these tips help you in establishing your own sacred feminine space. If you want to know more about what kind of tools and practices you can practice inside your sacred feminine space, DM me and I can share with you a lot of tools and techniques that could really bring your nervous system into a state of balance and ease. Also, don't forget to join my Facebook group and catch that feminine sensuality training, because it's value packed. It contains lots of tips and ideas that you can incorporate in your own sacred feminine space.